Back with you tonight on In Focus, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and her co-accused will appear in the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court tomorrow for a formal bail application. The defense last week asked for more time to prepare due to new developments in the matter. The suspects are accused of helping convicted rapist and murderer Thabo Bester fake his death in a prison fire to escape from the Mangaung Correctional Center last May. Newzroom Afrika's Linda Mnisi tracking that story joins us now. Linda, good to have you and thank you very much for your time. What we do know is that at this particular point, 2 more accused have been added to that particular number, and that, of course, meant that new legal arrangements needed to be made. But also there's been a change in legal representation for Dr. Nandipha Magudumana. Is that the sum total of why we had to move the bail application to tomorrow?
Well, partly that's the reason why the bail application had to be moved, but primarily it was really around the issue of the new accused being added into this case. So remember, they were added as accused number 7 and 8 to this matter, and we saw that charge sheet adding them with those provisional charges that have been laid against them. So the state then asking for a postponement to try and prepare adequately for this bail application. You'll remember there are about 8 people that have been arrested in this matter, and what we saw in court were about six accused persons arriving in court. So the postponement also gave them an opportunity to think about what exactly they want to do, and if all of them really will be applying for bail. We know for sure that Dr. Nandipha Magudumana got new legal representation in the form of Mangaung and Advocate Dlamini. We know that they are part of in fact, Mangaung is part of a new law firm after having left Legal Aid South Africa. He served there for about 20 years and taking on now this new matter as one of his first in that particular new law firm that he is a part of. So at the moment, we understand that a lot of talks had been going on prior to Mangaung, who now represents Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, appearing in court. It was known that come that day she would be getting new lawyers on record. Advocate Diba, telling the court, in fact, that they are now withdrawing from the matter and that Mangaung would be taking over. So tomorrow then they start really with the bail application, getting into why it is in the interest of justice, or at least why they think it is in the interest of justice for Dr. Nandipha Magudumana to be granted bail.
So initially, there was a debate that we saw last week around whether this matter will be standing for 3 days or more. Was that particular debate settled? Do we know how long this matter is going to be up for?
Well, that matter was settled because ultimately the court would have had to make a ruling on the submissions that are made both by the state as well as the defense in this matter. You'll remember that the state had initially proposed that this matter sit on the 10th and the 11th. Today's the 10th, which means it was supposed to sit if the state really had its way. But, the defense arguing that due to the number of accused persons in this matter, they would need more days to make submissions for bail application. Each and every accused person, as per their constitutional right, will have or need enough time to try and convince the court that it is in the interest of justice for them to be granted bail. So they had proposed that the minimum that they should be getting, or the minimum that they should be given by the court, should be 3 days. They were not willing to settle for anything less than 3 days, but the court ultimately ruling that this matter should sit on the 11th and 12th, and should there be a need for it to be extended, that determination will be made on the 12th, which means it will be made on Friday whether or not to extend these hearings from taking place. And that takes into account, of course, the fact that on the 16th of this month, which is around Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, Thabo Bester, as well as Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's father, Zolile Sekeleni, will be coming to court. So it's going to be quite interesting watching how the court will be handling that, given the fact that there are bail applications which are likely to run over to next week. So that ruling then made by the Magistrate's Court, saying that should there be a need, they will discuss the extension on Friday.
Linda Mnisi, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us live there. Linda Mnisi, he is out in Bloemfontein. We'll be live tomorrow at that court where the bail application will be heard.